what do you think is the reason for the resistance of immigrants if truly we are the lifeblood of this country? Sanjay, what are your thoughts?
I guess if there's the two words, it's probably fake news. I'd probably say education. I think what we need to embrace is the fact that more education needs to be given or provided to our citizens as to what we bring to the table. I think many a times, if they're not aware of what the impact an immigrant makes on the community.
Yes.
Because a lot of immigrants by nature, they are not always extroverted. They're not always sharing all the things they do. We are more about doing things as opposed to going out and sharing.
You know what?
So we need to go out and share some of the things in a positive way, not in a bombastic way. And I think if we do some of that, besides all the work we do already, I think that would make us better aware, as well as, the community will, react more favorably.
Sanjay, you are you're very much involved in community.
Yeah.
So you would know more in terms of the dynamics of the immigrant contributions. Tell me a little bit about your platform in regards to the aspect of reconciling immigrants' jobs and Americans feeling that way. Are the jobs that Americans want, by the way, based on your assessment working with with businesses in general?
Absolutely. So oGoing, we are an open business community. Every citizen of this country, including immigrants and actually now, even the world, can join oGoing as a business. So it's a business-to-business community for small businesses. So we give an opportunity to every business owner to join oGoing, share their story, connect to other businesses, and find ways to partner up and grow. And our community is growing. We have over 60,000 members now, and out of that, I would say 80% are from the U.S. And, it's an amazing platform. I mean, we have businesses, from local businesses here in Orange County who have joined, from roofing to solar to technology to even gardening. So, we have, businesses of all different aspects joining oGoing and, using it as a platform to share. Now, on oGoing, everybody is equal. It doesn't matter whether you're an immigrant or not. We give equal status. And actually, we go beyond that. If we find that a business is struggling or, it's a veteran-owned business or a minority-owned business, we actually even try to help them out even more so to give them more visibility on the platform and also give them, more featured, I would say, listings so that they can actually grow out and, do bigger business.
So in other words,
yes,
you are actually empowering American businesses.
Absolutely.
And you are an immigrant.
And I'm an immigrant, and I have businesses who are joined from, I would say, all states of U.S. at this point.
Correct.
I can comfortably say that. And they love the platform, and they know who I am too, because I do share. I'm one of the active members, and they love it that here I am helping all of our American businesses, share their stories, give them a voice, and help them grow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now now that we've observed that, we've said this, our protocols observed,
Yes.
Immigrants are not stealing jobs, and immigrants are actually contributing. How do you think this country will be affected if we stopped encouraging immigrants to come to the United States? Sanjay?
Well, there will be no United States then, right? Because we are a country of immigrants and by immigrants. At the end of the day, we got to think broadly. We got to think equally. And we really got to think that who are we to become? Are we a country that is, by and large, a true democracy that gives equal representation and opportunity to all citizens and, all people, regardless of who they are and where they came from, and that's what the ideals are about? Or are we to become a closed nation, which is on an island and trying to build all these walls, both physical as well as metaphorical?
Okay.
And I'm sure the answer is clear. So I think we've always been a country that has given tremendous opportunities, to citizens and people from all over the world, and I think we ought to be saying we should remain that.
I think Sanjay has said it for us all. And now we welcome to Impact Talks Mr. Sanjay B. Dalal, founder and CEO of oGoing, a leading business community. He is a digital marketing consultant, author, speaker, and serial entrepreneur and community volunteer. Sanjay spent his first 18 and a half years growing up in Ahmedabad, India. He graduated second in high school and was ranked in the top 35 students in Gujarat State Board exam in science. He founded the Indo-American Association after high school and was active in community organizing, social and cultural events. Welcome to Impact Talk, Sanjay.
Pamela, great to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's awesome. You know, I just had to add the fact that you were second in high school, in your high school.
Yeah.
So you have a brain. You know, they say, well, it's a stereotype, but it's a good stereotype. The Indians are the smartest people.
Well, I was second to a good friend of mine, and I always felt like, how did she get better marks than me?
Really?
For a long time, but she is pretty amazing too. And she's also in the U.S., by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So women are better, I guess you could say that.
Okay.
Or smarter.
Well, you're smart.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be here on this show now because you're an innovator, and we'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
Tell me in a summary, what brought you to the United States? You did so well in India. What happened? Why did you come over here?
So that's a great question, and I wouldn't be here actually, and I owe it to my parents and more importantly to my older sister.
Okay.
Because she definitely wanted to come here for her master's degree, and she was in love with the U.S. And a little story before that, my father came to the U.S. in 1957.
Okay.
On a Rotary Foundation scholarship, and then he went to Stanford, but then, of course, eventually he settled back in India. So she probably had the same excitement as my dad, and she said, I'm going to U.S., Dad. I want to do my master's. And my dad was a little bit anxious because, you know, being a woman, she wasn't very sure about whether she should go. And here I'm sitting, I'm hearing the conversation. I'm like, you know what if I go with her? So I wasn't even in the equation. Then I asked my father, like, what if I go with her? Then you'll feel comfortable. And you know what? I'll also get
so you
some
want
education.
To be the protector?
Yeah. And I said, I'll also get education with her.
Okay, good.
And lo and behold, he eventually agreed. He kind of course, he had a chat with my mother. And I think they both said, yeah, as long as you guys are together, you know, you can both go together.
That's awesome. Well, your story is pretty unique then.
Yes.
Because you didn't come out of desperation. And that's something that Americans ought to know and listeners need to know. Not every immigrant comes here because they're desperate. Yeah. In some cases, it's just maybe educational opportunities and...
Absolutely.
You know, like
tremendous education. Absolutely.
Yeah, in your case, trying to be a chaperone for your sister. So, I mean, it's been said that we talk about brain drain, because India is one of those countries that really produces a lot of intelligent people. They're very good at science and engineering and all of that.
Yes.
Is it kind of like a reverse drain coming to the United States, or is this just surplus?
Well, so it did happen. I think I would say if you look back at the history and a lot of immigrants who came from India in the U.S. in the 70s, 80s, and even in the 90s, back then, the Indian economy wasn't as great, nor the opportunities were there, you know, for Indians who did well in, let's say, sciences and math and engineering. So a lot of Indians who were focused on those disciplines, they said, you know, where is the place to find better opportunities? So a lot of them, they came to the U.S., including me and my sister, for pursuing better education, you know, for engineering, and then eventually finding opportunities to settle here, not to just take what America gives you, but also in a way to grow into the culture, into the community, and also hopefully give back.
Yeah.
And you will see that more often than not, you know, especially from the engineering community.
Absolutely. I say that because in terms of what people think of the quality of immigrants who live in the United States, we're not all armed robbers.
Absolutely.
Actually, that's why it says the brain drain is taking away from other countries and to really to empower this country. And you've done so with your innovation. Tell me about oGoing. Let me just pick this up, listeners. It's called oGoing. And Sanjay, what is oGoing and why oGoing?
That's a great question, Pamela. So oGoing is a spin, of course, as you can see, the letter O and the word going. And O comes, there are a couple of ways to look at it. You know, I'm from India, as you know by now, and O has to do with the sound Om, which means, it gives you a lot of peace and it gives you that calmness. O also means, opportunities, so I said, and then going means flourishing and going places. So it's a combination of two things here. And frankly, even I wasn't sure of this word. So my best test was, what I asked my kids. So what do you think, I-going or O-going? And I just let them forget about it. Then in a few days, I asked them, what do you guys think? I said, Dad, O-going.
Okay,
so that's when I said, let's go with O-going.
Thank you. So what is it about? What is O-going?
Yes. So O-going, my vision is that small businesses, we are the lifeline of the country. In the United States, there are about 29 million small businesses. And they create more than about 2/3 of the jobs, believe it or not. Small businesses create most of the jobs. And they are the ones that impact the economy here.
Absolutely.
So I said, you have all these big social networks like Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and, Google Plus, which is actually closing this year. But look, they're all focused on big things, but nobody's focused on small businesses.
Wow.
So I said, what if I create this beautiful business network for small businesses from the ground up? And provide a platform for businesses to share their stories, give them a voice,
absolutely,
and find a way to connect to each other. And that's kind of, it was altruistic, but also I felt eventually, if I can make a difference for our business owners, why not?
That's interesting. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I ask others.
Yeah.
What is it that motivated you in terms of, it's one thing to think about it, the inner innovator in you to then do that? What is it that motivates someone to actually go from thought to action?
I think the innovators, there is a sense of purpose, what they're trying to achieve, and it's not selfish. It's something that they want to do something larger than life.
Correct.
They want to make a difference, either, if you're, a business innovator, difference in the lives of business people. If you are an innovator for consumers, in the lives of, people who use their iPhones, if you may, right? So it's a sense of purpose is larger than life, if you may. They want to make an impact. They want to create a difference. And that's what drives them. It's not about the money. I think many times the ones who are about the money, they may realize their dreams, but, they will still feel unfulfilled. I think ultimately the ones who really go the distance and, make a big impact are the ones who have a sense of purpose. Yeah.
You know what? That is well said. So tell me, with oGoing, how do businesses get on the platform?
Well, very simple. Go to oGoing.com, O-G-O-I-N-G, it's as it's spelled.
Yes.
And it just takes 2 minutes to create your business profile and start sharing your stories. And if you find Facebook and Twitter to be as easy, my goal is to make oGoing easier. And, you should be able to get on it and as I say, get going.
Is there a fee?
There is no fee to join oGoing. We have kept it free, and we're going to keep it free. We have over 60,000 businesses who have joined now. We do have a business model for businesses who need some additional exposure and want some extra boost on the community, and, they pay a very modest fee. But that's only if you need to do that.
Absolutely. So what's next for Sanjay?
Well, my vision has been to grow oGoing into a big community one day, but not big in terms of numbers, big in terms of impact, big in terms of how it can make a difference to that local business, be it a coffee shop or be it a solar installer or be it a roofing company or be it, somebody who's providing technology services or be it innovators like we have today.
Absolutely.
And, if it can create that impact for them where through oGoing, if they can find even one or two or a few business contacts and that help them grow their business, that's what gets me happy. That's what gets me going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That was just fascinating. So I think the key message I got from you, purpose.
Purpose, yes.
Purpose and being altruistic. So thank you so much, Sanjay, and keep being the change that you want, right?
I really would love to do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Pamela, for having me. Yeah.
You're welcome. That is the spirit of the immigrant innovator in the United States. And you're listening to Impact with Pamela Asobo-Anchang on Pacifica Radio.